So much like object mode, we can select in edit mode as well, but the selections are a little bit different. So just like in object mode, we can select with left click. That doesn't change, that's the same. You can also shift click to select multiple things. That remains the same as well. But let's say I wanted to select, from here all the way over to here, these edges here on the top. I could shift click and select all these edges one by one, but who has time for that? I don't. Instead, what we can do is we can select an edge and then we can control click. This is our continuous selection. So if we control click and select around, you can see how much quicker that is. You can quickly select multiple areas by holding control. What we can also do is we can hold Alt, and this will select a continuous set of connected edges all the way around here. I can hold Alt, and in this case it's just one edge, but if I hold Alt here on the top, it selects this entire loop of edges here on the top. Another thing I can do is I can combine these together. So I could hold Shift to select a few, and then I could hold Control. And then if I want to do the same thing down here, I don't want to click because it's going to deselect up here. I want to hold Shift to continue my selection, and then I could hold Control and select across. Now the next one we have is pretty cool. If I hold Control and Alt, it'll select all the edges in the same direction that are the same length. So I can hold Control and Alt, it'll select all these edges, so that's a pretty useful command as well. And then just like everything else in object mode, we can select everything with A, deselect with Alt A. We can use B to box select. So if I go into face mode, I could box select some of these faces. I could press C to circle select some of these faces. And I could also invert the selection with Control I. One final thing we can do, and I'm going to quickly show you using the Suzanne monkey again. If I select, say, one of these faces, I can expand the selection by pressing Control and then the plus button on the number pad. This will expand your selection. So pretty cool stuff. And then actually there's one more thing I want to mention. If I press the L key, this will select linked geometry. So you're going to see this eyeball here in Suzanne. If I go into wireframe mode, that eyeball, you can't really tell, but that eyeball isn't actually connected to the rest of the monkey. It's kind of just floating there. So if I press the L key, it'll select all the geometry there that is linked. And then if I press the P key, I could, separate it so you can see that this is indeed not connected to the eye socket there. But the L key is pretty useful to select those different connected areas on your mesh in edit mode. So those are all the different selection features inside of edit mode. Again, I would recommend watching this video again, so that way you understand all the different commands.